Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video on my channel. My name is Liam. For those of you who don't know me, I am a polyglot. I'm 17 years old and I can speak 7 languages. English, German, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian and Russian, and I am learning Turkish and Polish currently. Today I want to take you through my language learning journey, how I came from speaking one language, only English, at the age of 14 to now speaking 7 languages at the age of 70. I already did a video similar to this, as it was my first video on this YouTube channel, but let's be honest, it wasn't the best video.
Hi everyone, so this is my first video on this YouTube.
I used my phone to record, I was super nervous and I could hardly speak in any language. I couldn't even speak English properly. So now that I have more confidence in front of the camera, now that I actually have a better camera to record videos, I want to redo this video. Not fully. If you're interested in seeing that video, I'll link it up there. But I want to talk about my language learning journey, and of course I will showcase my language skills during this video. Let's get started. So I grew up in Leicestershire, a county in the centre of England. I've lived here all my life and I've been surrounded with English all my life because my family doesn't speak any other languages. I've always had an interest in linguistics, and as a child I always used to pretend I could speak different languages. I used to try to make up different languages and stuff like that, but I never actually took the time to learn a real language until the age of 14. My passion for language learning is kind of related to my passion for travel. In 2019, my sister got a job on cruise ships and she travelled all around the world, and her photos on Instagram really inspired me to want to travel, and that really ignited my wanderlust. Because of her interest in travelling, it gave me that huge interest to travel as well. I thought, since she's working on cruise ships and this seems like a really amazing experience, I wanted to do the same. So I looked, at about 14 years old, I looked online for job offers for cruise ships, which I could do in the future. And I found out that a lot of cruise ships require a different language, as it would be really beneficial. So then I saw that a lot of job offers were saying we need German people. We need people who can speak German to work on the cruise ships with us. That made me think, should I start learning German? And so I did. I started learning German, and to be honest, I would never have thought that learning German, I was planning on just learning the basics. I never thought that I would get to a really high level in the German language to then speak 6 other languages on top of that. But, you know, that happened. But yeah, that was basically where my language learning journey began. Thanks to my sister, I ended up becoming interested in travel, cruise ships, and if it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably still be speaking English, only English. I'd be monolingual right up until this day. And so, I started to learn Deutsch. Ich lerne Deutsch seit 2 oder 3 Jahren und ich kann schon sagen, dass ich die Sprache fast fließend kann. Ich glaube, ich habe einen ziemlich guten Akzent und ich kann auf jeden Fall sagen, dass ich jetzt alles sagen kann und ich habe keine Probleme mit der deutschen Sprache. I started to learn German on Duolingo. So I went on the internet and I looked for the best language learning apps and resources to help me to learn a language. I found and I came across Duolingo, and Duolingo is very, very popular and has mixed opinions. But I personally found Duolingo really useful, and it got me up to a conversational level in German, enough to be able to talk to myself in German and basically say what I like to do and talk about my daily routine, which is really useful when you're starting off to learn a new language. I really quickly fell in love with German, and it was probably because of my high levels of motivation and interest in the language which allowed me to learn it in just a matter of a few months, because when you're interested in a language, you can learn it super quickly. That's the good thing about motivation. If you're motivated, you learn. If you're not motivated, you don't learn anything. So I was going really, really well, and my language learning journey was going really smooth. I was learning German, I learned the basics, and I was able to even think a little in German. But then I came to that point where I didn't know what to do afterwards. Duolingo was now repeating the same stuff to me over and over again, and I wasn't learning anything new, and I didn't know how to learn new vocabulary. I was stuck on German grammar, and I didn't know how to get past this point. So I needed someone who would be there to correct me. And this is where my dad came in, and he looked for language exchange groups online to help me practice. He came across a website called My Language Exchange, where I was able to find some new friends to speak German with, and that really boosted my confidence in the German language. I was able to practice regularly every day. I was writing and speaking German, and it really helped me to really progress in the language. Talking to native speakers is literally a game changer. When you speak to native speakers, you have that chance to really put your language skills into practice. And when you speak to natives and when you immerse yourself in the language, you learn it 1,000 times quicker. And not only does it help you to learn the language, you also find new friends. So it's a win-win situation. So after a few months of learning German and after finding a few friends to be able to speak the language with, I thought I want to expand my horizons and I want to learn a new language. So I looked on the internet and looked for the easiest language to learn. The first result I found was Norwegian, and I thought, okay, jeg vil lære norsk. Jeg kan ikke si at jeg snakker norsk. I do not speak Norwegian, and that is... I remember the basics of Norwegian, but I gave up on it after a while because I found it not boring, but I thought there is another language which I could learn which would be more beneficial. So I remember the basics of Norwegian, but no, I cannot speak it. So instead of learning Norwegian, the language I decided to learn was Español. Y bueno, el español fue una pesadilla para mí, porque he aprendido lo básico del español y bueno, aprender en Duolingo fue bastante fácil para mí, pero después el español, tengo que admitir, el español era uno de los idiomas más difíciles para mí, para aprender. Y eso no tiene mucho sentido, pero es verdad. It took me about 6 months to be able to reach decent conversational level in Spanish, because I was having so much difficulty somehow finding Spanish friends, and then I ended up finding a Chilean friend who I could speak basic Spanish with, and that again really helped me to speak the language a lot better and quicker, and I was learning Spanish quicker. But the pronunciation in Spanish has always been really difficult for me, and even now I speak Spanish, but I cannot say that I can pronounce that R correctamente. No, like Spanish pronunciation for a native English speaker is really hard, and pronouncing the Spanish R is impossible. There's that tongue twister, which I always try to do, but then I could never actually do it. It's like R con R cigarro, R con R carril rápido corren los carros por los carriles de ferrocarril. I did it. Kind of. So yeah, now I find Spanish easy. Well, not the pronunciation, but Spanish grammar was, for me, even though Spanish grammar is said to be one of the easiest, I found Spanish grammar impossible. All these verb conjugations we have in English, like eat, eats, eaten, eating, whereas Spanish has... I'll just put it on the screen because I'm not going through all of them. The Spanish has way too many verb conjugations. But yeah, I managed to get to a good level in Spanish, and then after that, no, I didn't decide to stop my language learning journey there. I then went on to français. Ça fait 8 mois maintenant que je parle pas français, donc j'oublie beaucoup de mots, mais au moins je sais parler français. Yeah, it's been about 8 months since I spoke the language, but I can still say that I speak French to a pretty intermediate advanced level. It's just that my grammar is progressively getting worse and worse, and I need to practice French more. Le français n'était pas trop difficile pour moi. J'ai appris beaucoup de français dans peu de mois, mais maintenant, oui, ça fait 8 mois que je parle français, donc je sais pas quoi dire. Le français était facile. Je pouvais déjà parler espagnol, donc I didn't have any problems with it. And then we get to one of my favorite languages, português. Eu gosto muito de falar português, eu tenho muitos amigos do Brasil e falo com eles o tempo todo, todos os dias. Eu gosto muito de falar português, então eu vou fazer toda essa parte em português. O português, por causa do espanhol, não era muito difícil para mim. Eu aprendi português em apenas 3 meses, porque já sabia falar espanhol, já sabia falar francês. Então, o português era simplesmente muito fácil para mim. E a pronúncia é mais fácil do que a pronúncia espanhola, a pronúncia francesa, porque é mais. Eu falo uma mistura do português de Portugal e português do Brasil. Eu acho que o meu sotaque é mais de Portugal e isso é mais relacionado com o russo. E isso, acho que é por isso que falo bastante bem em português, porque eu não posso muito bem imitar o sotaque do Brasil. Mas, sim, eu gosto muito de falar português e aprendi em 3 meses e é uma das minhas línguas favoritas, então gosto muito. At the same time, I tried learning Italian, and Italian was. I learned Italian in a weird way because I learned Italian without learning Italian. It was natural acquisition. I didn't ever sit down to study Italian grammar or Italian vocabulary. I just listened to Italian music and watched videos in Italian per imparare l'italiano di modo naturale. Ho imparato l'italiano basicamente senza studiare, quindi posso dire che parlo italiano ma non lo parlo mai. I don't have friends who speak Italian, and yeah, my Italian isn't the best because I don't have any practice with it. I never use this language. It's just one of those which I understand it and I speak it, but I never use it. And then we get to one of my favorite languages, but also the language I found most difficult to learn, Ruski. Я люблю этот язык, но я не очень хорошо говорю по-русски, потому что грамматика очень сложная, и произношение я не понимаю, но я говорю достаточно. Yeah, my Russian is really weak. Это мой самый слабый язык, но тоже мой любимый язык. Так что я должен улучшить свой русский, но, по крайней мере, я говорю немного по-русски, и я знаю общаться в этом языке, и это важнее. I love the Russian language, and I love its pronunciation, its grammar. It's impossible, and I still don't fully understand Russian grammar, but, I love the language, and I love the Cyrillic alphabet, and yeah, I wish I could speak Russian more, but I don't have any friends really who speak to me in Russian, so that's a shame, but, I would love to improve my Russian, and I'd love to be able to speak it at a really high, advanced level, which one day I will, but I just need more practice and I need to speak to people in Russian more, but I don't really have that opportunity. So, yeah. And so, that brings us to the end of our language learning journey, and yeah, I've basically spoken a little in all of the languages I speak. If you want to see a really nervous video of me speaking in all 7 languages, then you can watch my first video, which I posted on this channel. There I'll speak more in French because I feel like, although it was mainly a video to explain and to tell you about my story rather than speaking in different languages. If you want to see a video of me actually speaking in all 7 languages for a decent amount of time, then I can do that. Just let me know in the comments if you want that or whether you're satisfied with the video I did at the start, because personally I'm not, but yeah, everyone starts somewhere, and I feel like although it's a bad video, bad quality, it showcases my language learning skills and it shows that I'm able to speak the languages, and it's not that bad. It's a first video, it's acceptable. But before ending this video, I want to talk about my future language learning plans. If you saw my last video, my comeback video after about 7 months of not posting anything, I posted a video basically discussing what I've been doing recently in my life and with my language learning journey. I said that I wanted to learn Turkey and Polski. Yeah, these are my next languages which I hope to learn, or well, I hope to in the next few weeks or maybe next month say that I'm able to speak Turkish. Ya şimdi Türkçe bilmiyorum ama öğreniyorum ve Türkçe öğrenmek istiyorum. I don't know what to say. The thing is, I understand Turkish, but then it takes me ages to come up. I can write it fine, but I can't speak it because Turkish, they have that, they kind of like speak backwards and all those suffixes which you put on the end, and I cannot understand that. So I can write in Turkish, but I cannot speak it because my brain, even though my brain can handle German and Russian, it cannot handle Turkish. And Polish, yeah, I started learning it a few months ago and I do not even want to talk about that. I'm not gonna, I can say cześć, nie mówię po polsku. So yeah, those are the two languages which I want to learn this year as well. Okay, I want to learn 5 languages this year to get me up to 12 languages. That is such an ambitious plan considering we're always always with the, considering we're already in July and I've not even learned Turkish yet, so that's 0 languages out of 5 this year. So I've got about 6, 7, 8 months left. I don't know, I'm not good at maths. I've not got much time left to learn 5 languages this year. But the other 3 languages I want to learn are Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish. And because of all of these languages are really similar, because I started learning Norwegian 2 years ago anyway, I already have basic knowledge of Norwegian, which will help me to learn it. And I could, one day in the future, in the next few months, I'm going to set myself the challenge to learn Norwegian in 1 week. That's so ambitious. But I'm going to try and do that, and then you can probably, I'll record my progress and we'll see if I can actually learn Norwegian in a week. I may actually change it to 2 weeks or a month, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll do that on a future YouTube video, and then I will learn Swedish and Danish, and I feel like I can do it. If I can get Turkish and Polish out of the way, then Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish will be a bliss. So we'll see. And in terms of my language learning plans, because I don't want to stop at 12, I will continue going until my brain literally cannot handle it anymore. So if anyone's asking, will you ever learn like Chinese or Japanese or Korean in the future? The answer is yes. But I don't know when. I have nothing against learning Chinese, I just don't want to learn it yet because I think if I were to learn Chinese, I'd have to stop all other languages completely and just focus solely on Chinese. And I don't want to do that yet because I want to improve in all the other languages I've got currently. And I don't have enough time or patience to sit for hours a day studying and memorizing 200,000 different characters. But maybe in the next few years I'll dedicate a whole year just to learning Chinese, and that would make a really interesting video too. So I have quite a few language learning plans, and I have no idea when I'm going to achieve this or if I'm going to achieve this, but you never know what the future holds. But I would say that the key to learning languages is just to have motivation. If you're motivated to learn a language, you can do it. The reason why I learned 7 languages is because I had the interest and the motivation to learn. So if you have the motivation, you can learn too. So if you're planning to learn a different language, or if you want to learn 3 or 4 different languages in your lifetime, or then you can do it. You just need to have the motivation and set yourself realistic goals. I'm talking about realistic goals, and then I'm talking about learning Norwegian in 1 week. But yeah, I mean, if you have the realistic goals, like I don't set yourself this challenge of I want to become fluent in Chinese in 1 month, because it's probably not going to happen. So you need to have realistic goals which you're able to achieve and set yourself milestones. I want to be able to have a basic conversation in Arabic after 2 months. That may be a reasonable goal. And if you can achieve that, celebrate it and track your progress and stay motivated. That's the most important part of language learning. But that concludes this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was kind of motivational to you, and yeah, I'm looking forward to future videos where I'll actually be speaking in different languages. I'll be talking about different languages and teaching different languages as well. I'll be providing you with language learning tips and advice, and blogging my language learning adventure. So I hope you're looking forward to it like I am, and I'll see you in the next video. Tschüss.